Hi guys, my name's Marty, and I'm going to show you how to get started with WordPress. You don't need to have any previous experience, and the whole process will only take around 30 minutes. I've been using WordPress for well over 10 years at this point, and I created this tutorial to show you everything you'll need to know to build your first WordPress website. Everything from registering a domain name and setting up web hosting, to installing WordPress and creating pages. Then I'll also cover how to change our WordPress theme, as well as a few other bits and pieces you'll want to know. And we're going to get started now. Okay, so to get started with WordPress, the first thing we need to do is register a domain name and set up web hosting for our website. A domain name is usually just the title of a website or business, with www before it and .com after it. And it's what people will type into their internet browser to visit our website. Then web hosting is where the different files that make up our website will be stored online so people can access it. So it's basically like online storage for our website. Now, we can order our domain name and web hosting separately if we like, and there are tons of different places to get them from. But I recommend using HostGator for both. I've been using HostGator for more than 13 years at this point and haven't had any problems to date. They're reliable, low cost, and exactly what we need for our WordPress website. Plus, they also offer a free domain name with all of their hosting plans, which would normally cost us around $13 per year. So to get started, we just need to open up our internet browser and go to HostGator.com. Or if you want to support me and this channel, you can click on my affiliate link in the video description or visit the URL that's on screen now. I will earn a small commission if you do this, and you'll also get the discounted price. So thank you in advance if you use my link, but even if you don't, I'd still highly recommend using HostGator for your website. Then either way, once we get here, we're going to hover over web hosting at the top and click into web hosting. And this will show us the different hosting plans they offer. To be honest, I'd recommend going for the hatchling plan, as this will be enough for most people. It allows us to have up to 10 different websites and up to 40,000 visitors per month. Or if for whatever reason we do need more than this, we can go for the baby plan. This allows up to 20 websites and up to 50,000 visitors per month. I'm going to go for the hatchling plan, and once we've decided which one we want, we can click Choose Plan. And now we can register our domain name. So we just need to type whatever we want to register into this box, including the domain extension. And for this example, I'm going to put martyswebsite.com. Then once we've entered the domain name we want, we can click Search for Domain on the right. And as long as the domain name's available, we're going to be brought to a page that looks like this. But if it comes up and says the domain is not available, it means we're going to need to choose something else. Then once we know our domain name's available, here at the top we can see the hosting plan we chose, and then underneath we can choose how often we'd like to pay for it. So it's automatically set to 3 years, which is the best deal. Then we can also change it to yearly or monthly. And I'm going to set mine to yearly for this example, so I still get the free domain name. Then under this we have Data Center, and mine's automatically set to London. We can change our data center if we like by clicking here and choosing a different one, but I recommend leaving it on the default because if we look underneath, it says, we have selected a data center closest to you for optimal speed and performance. So you can change it, but I'm going to leave mine as it is. Then under this we have our domain name, and we can see we're getting 1 year for free, which would normally cost us $12.99. Then under this we have 2 optional add-ons, which are Domain Privacy Protection and Professional Email. But we don't actually need either of these to build our website, so we can remove them. So we just need to click the trash icon to the right of each one to remove them from our cart. And now if we look over on the right-hand side, we can see the total price to pay. So for me, this is going to be $59.40, which works out at around $4.95 per month. And a domain name and web hosting are the only 2 things we need to pay for, as WordPress itself is free. And if we look underneath, we can see they also have a 30-day money-back guarantee in case we change our mind. Then once we're happy with everything here, we just need to click Continue to Checkout. Then on this page, we need to enter our personal billing information, so things like our name and address. Then under this, we can enter the password we want to use for logging into HostGator. And then under this, we can enter our payment details. And we can choose either credit or debit card or PayPal. So I'm just going to pause this video while I fill out my personal information above, and then I'll restart it. So if you're following along at home, just pause the video until you pay for your order, and then come back and press play, and we'll carry on together. Okay, so that's me now back, and after paying for my order, I was automatically logged into my HostGator account. And now we can install WordPress. All we need to do is click into Websites on the left, and this will show us a list of any websites we have. But as we don't have any yet, we just need to click Add Site on the right. Then we're going to choose Install WordPress and click Continue. Then here we can enter our site title. I'm going to put Marty's website for mine, but don't worry too much about this for now, as we can always change it again later. Then we need to click Continue, and then here we're going to enter our domain name, and this is the one that we just registered. So for me, I'm going to put martyswebsite.com. And just double check you have this spelt correctly, as it's going to cause issues if you don't. Then once we know it's correct, we just need to click Continue. And at this point, HostGator's going to start installing WordPress for us right away. This will usually only take around 30 seconds or so to complete. And once it's finished, we might get a message that reads, "This site is using a temporary URL until the domain is pointed at HostGator. If this is a new domain name, it might take a few hours to finish setting up. So normally it takes a few hours for our domain name to be ready, and we'd need to wait till then before we can install WordPress. But HostGator gives us a temporary domain to use until then. Then at this point, we need to click Log into WordPress, and this will open up our website in a new tab. Now, when we first install WordPress on HostGator, they're going to want us to go through their WordPress onboarding process. But to skip over this, we just need to click Exit to WordPress in the top left, and then Exit in the middle. Now, if we click into where it says Dashboard in the top left, this will bring us to the dashboard home screen, which is what we'll normally see when we log into our WordPress site. Then to visit our website, we just need to click our site title in the top left, and this will show us what WordPress looks like when we first install it. And don't worry if yours looks a little different than mine, as sometimes they change up the default theme. Either way, it's just going to have some demo content on it for now, like this sample page and some other basic content. And we're going to be changing our theme pretty soon, so we'll both see the same thing and have the same options. And if we look up at the top, we can see that my website is using the temporary domain name supplied by HostGator. But this will automatically update to the domain I registered at the start as soon as it's ready. Then one of the first things I like to do after installing WordPress is remove some of the demo plugins that come pre-installed. Plugins are basically like apps for WordPress that allow us to add extra functionality to our website that WordPress doesn't come with by default. But as we don't need any of these to build our website, we're going to remove them. So to do this, we just need to head back to the dashboard by clicking our site title again in the top left. Then click into Plugins on the left. And this will show us any plugins we have installed. Then the first thing we need to do is deactivate them. So we're going to check this box in the top left to select them all, then change the drop-down menu to Deactivate and click Apply. This will deactivate all of the plugins at once and remove any of the extra options that were added by the plugins. And this is the main reason I like doing this first, as the extra options can make things a little bit more confusing when just starting out. Now we're going to check the box in the top left to select them all again, change the drop-down menu to Delete, and click Apply. Then click OK in the middle, and WordPress will delete the plugins one by one. Now, we can always install some plugins later on after learning the basics of WordPress, but I think it's better to start without any and add them later if we need them. Now that we've deleted the plugins, the next thing we're going to do is change our WordPress theme, which is going to change the entire look of our website. So to change theme, we just need to click into Appearance on the left, and this will show us any themes we have installed. As we can see, the theme I'm using at the moment is called YITH Wonder, as it's the one that says active beside its name. Then we can change to one of these other themes if we like. We just need to hover our mouse over it and click Activate. But we're going to install a new one, so we just need to click Add Theme at the top. And this is going to show us a bunch of different free themes we can use. Or if we know the name of a specific theme, we just need to type it into the search bar in the top right. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using a theme called GeneratePress, which is honestly one of my favorite free themes. Now, as all WordPress themes are different, I recommend using the same theme as me until you're familiar with the main basics of WordPress. So we just need to click into the search bar in the top right and type GeneratePress. Then when it shows up, we just need to hover our mouse over it and click Install. It'll only take a few seconds to install, and then we can click Activate. Then at this point, if we click where it says Visit Site at the top, we'll see that our website now looks completely different. Then to start customizing our WordPress theme, we just need to click Customize at the top, and this is going to open up our theme options. So we have a list of different options down the left-hand side, and then a live preview of our website on the right. Then one thing I would like to point out here is that these options on the left are going to be different depending on which theme we're using. Then once we're in the theme options, we're going to click into Site Identity on the left. And then here, we can change our site title at the top if we like. So if I change this, we can see this updates in real time on the right. But I'm just going to quickly put this back to the way it was for mine. Then if we have a logo image we want to use, we just need to make sure we have it saved to our computer. Then we're going to click Select Logo, then select Files in the middle, find the image on our computer, click on it, and click Open. Then once it's uploaded, we're going to click Select in the bottom right. Then we can crop our image if we need to, or click Skip Cropping in the bottom right. And at this point, we'll see our image has been added to the top, and we can see that mine is clearly too big. So to change the size of our logo, here on the left, we can see it says Logo Width, and I'm going to change mine to be 50 pixels wide. And we can see this updates on the right. Now, my logo doesn't have any text in it, but if we want to use a logo with text in it and want to hide our site title, we just need to check this box on the left, and we'll see that it now just shows the logo. But I'm going to bring mine back for the example. Then once we're done here, we just need to click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. And now we're going to add some pages to our website, and we're going to do this by creating a menu. So we just need to click into Menus on the left, then click Create New Menu, and then here at the top, we need to give our menu a name. Now this is just for our own reference, so I'm going to type Main Menu. Then we need to check this box beside Primary Menu and click Next. Then to start creating our pages, we just need to click Add Items. Then we're going to type the page name into this box and click Add. So for this example, I'm going to add a page called About, a page called Services, and one called Home. And when we add our different pages, we'll see they're added to this list on the left, which represents our menu. Now, you can add as many pages as you like, but I'm just going to add these 3 for my example. But I would recommend adding a home page, as we're going to use this to replace the blog that's currently on our home page. And for reference, we can always come back in here later to add more pages when we need them. Then if we want to change the order of our pages, we just need to click here where it says Reorder. Then we can use these up and down arrows to change the position. And for reference, anything we put to the top of this list will appear at the start of our menu, and anything we put at the bottom will appear at the end. And for this, I'm going to put my home page to the top as I want it at the start of my menu. Then I'll leave the other two as they are. Then once we're happy with the order of our menu, we can click Done. And at this point, if we look over to the right, we can see our menu is now here. And we can click into our different pages. Now, they are blank at the moment, but we'll be adding content to them soon. Then once we're happy with our menu, we just need to click Publish at the top to save our changes. Then we're going to click the back pointing arrow to go back, and then click it once more to get back to the main list of options. And now, the next thing we're going to do is assign our website's homepage. So if we click our site title or our logo at the top, this will bring us to the homepage, which at the moment is set up to be a blog. But as we're building a website, we're going to change this to be the page called Home that we just created. To do this, we need to click into Homepage Settings on the left, and this is going to be set to Latest Posts by default. But we're going to change this to a static page, and then under Homepage, we're going to choose our page called Home. And when we do this, we'll see it updates on the right. And that's all we need to do in here. Now we're going to click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. Now we will come back in here in a little while to change our website's colors, but for now, we're going to close out of the theme options. To do this, we need to click the X in the top left, and at this point, we'll see that the changes we made are now live on our site. So we have our logo at the top, if we added one, and our site title. Then we have our menu on the right with our different pages. And we also assigned our new home page. And now we can start adding some content to our new pages. But just quickly before that, according to the analytics for my YouTube channel, it shows that less than 3% of my viewers actually subscribe to the channel. So if you've made it this far in the video and you're finding it helpful, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it, and it also helps me out a lot more than you might realize. So thank you very much if you do. Then, without wasting any more time, let's start adding some content to our website's pages. To do this, we just need to click into the page we're wanting to edit in our menu, and I'm going to start with my About page. Then we're going to click where it says Edit Page at the top, over on the left, and this will bring us into the WordPress page editor. Then here at the top, we can change our page title if we like, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is. Then we can just click in underneath and start typing any text we want on our page. But to save some time in this video, I'm going to delete this again and paste in some text I already have copied. Then if we highlight some of our text, we get this menu above it, and we can change our text to be bold or italics. Then if we want to add a text heading, we just need to take a new line where we want it to appear and type the text. Then we're going to highlight the text, click the icon in this menu that looks like a backwards P, and choose Heading. And we'll see the text gets larger in the editor. Then we can add more headings if we like, but I'm just going to add one to save time. Then once we're happy with the text on our page, we can add some images. To do this, we just need to take a new line wherever we want our image to appear, then click the plus symbol to the right and choose Image. Or if you don't see it here, you can type the word image into this search box and then click on the image block to add it to our page. Then we need to click Upload on the left, find the image on our computer, click on it, and click Open. And the image will appear in the editor. Then to change the size of our image, we can click this point to the right and drag it to whatever size we like. And I'm going to make mine quite a bit smaller. Then we can add more images if we like, but once again, I'm just going to add the one to save time. Then once we're happy with the content on our page, we just need to click the Save button in the top right to publish our changes. Then if we click this icon to the left, it's going to open up our page in a new tab, and we can see we have our text and our image, then our bold and italics, and our text headings. Now, obviously we can see there isn't any space between the image and this text, and the easiest way to fix this is by using something called a spacer. To do this, we just need to close out of the new tab to get back to the editor. Then we're going to click on the image and hit Enter on our keyboard to take a new line. Then we're going to click the plus symbol to the right, type the word spacer in here, and click on the spacer block to add it. And we'll see it appears here in the editor. Now, the default size for this is 100 pixels, which we can see here over on the right. But for this, I'm going to change it to 25 pixels instead, and we'll see it changes size in the editor. Then if I click Save in the top right, and then click this icon to the left to visit the page, we can see there's now a space between the image and the text. Then once we're happy with our page, we can close out of this first tab and carry on from this one. Now we're going to click into the next page we want to add content to in our menu. Then click Edit Page at the top to open it up in the editor. But to save some time in this tutorial, I'm just going to do this. So now I have my home page, my About page, and a Services page. Then once we're finished adding content to our pages, the next thing we're going to do is change some of our website's colors. And to do this, we need to open up our theme options. So over on the left, we're going to click into where it says Customize up at the top, and then click into Colors on the left. And this will give us our different color options. Then here at the top, we have Body, and if we click the down pointing arrow to the right, here we can change our background color. So if I change this to white, we'll see that it updates on the right. Or we can change it to a different color if we like. Then if we ever change one of our colors and want to change it back, we just need to click here where it says Default, and it'll go back to the original color. Then under our background color, we have Text, and we can change this in the same way. And once again, we'll see this updates on the right. But once again, I'm just going to put this back to the default color for mine. Then once we're finished with a group of colors, we can click this up pointing arrow to close them again, and click into the next one underneath. But to save some time in the tutorial, I'm just going to do this. Then I'll also link to a post in the video description that explains what each of these colors are and what they represent on our website. Then once we're finished updating our colors, we just need to click Publish up at the top to save our changes. And then if we click the X in the top left to close out of the theme options, we can see that any of the colors we changed are now live on our website. And now, the next thing we're going to do is change our website's sidebar. So if we look over to the right, we'll see we have these different blocks, and these are known as widgets. And they appear the same on every page on our website. So we have a search bar, then a list of our recent blog posts, and a list of recent comments. Now, the widgets we have here are mainly related to a blog, so we're going to change them. To do this, we just need to open up our theme options. So we're going to click where it says Customize at the top over on the left. Then click into Widgets on the left, and then Right Sidebar at the top. And here we'll see we have the search bar, our list of recent posts, and the list of comments. For my example, I'm going to remove everything that's in here at the moment, but if you want to keep any of it, you can. So to remove the search bar at the top, we just need to click on it to select it, then click these three dots to the right of the menu, and then click Delete at the bottom. And when we do this, we'll see that the search bar has been removed from our sidebar on the right. Then back over on the left, the next thing we have is recent posts, and this is actually made up of two different parts. So we have the title and the list of posts, and these have been joined together as a group. So to remove this, we're going to click on the list of posts, then click this icon to the left of the menu, and this will select the group. Then click the three dots to the right and click Delete at the bottom. And this will remove it from our sidebar on the right. Then back over on the left, we have Recent Comments, and this is also a group. So to remove it, we're going to click on the list of comments, then click the icon to the left to select the group, then click the three dots to the right, and Delete at the bottom. And at this point, we'll see our sidebar is now completely empty. Now, you could leave it like this if you wanted, but I'm going to add some content in here for mine. So over on the left, we just need to click this plus button to add a new block, and this is pretty much done in the same way as adding content to our pages. So the first thing I'm going to add is a heading, so I'm going to click on the heading block to add it, and then type my heading text. And we'll see this appears on the right. Then I'm going to click the plus button again to add another block, and this time I'm going to add some text. For this, I'm going to click on the paragraph block, and then I can just start typing my text. Then at this point, if we look over on the right, we can see there's a gap between my heading and the text. But I want these to appear in the same block, and to do this, we just need to combine them together into a group. So over on the left, I'm going to highlight the text and the heading above it, then click this icon to the left of the menu and choose Group. And when I do this, we'll see they're now combined together into the same block on the right. Then I also want to add an image to my sidebar, so over on the left, I'm going to click the plus button again to add a new block, and then click on the image block to add it. And just like with our pages, if we ever want to add something and it's not here in this list, we just need to type it into the search bar and it'll show up. So I'm going to add an image. Then we just need to click Upload, find the image on our computer, click on it, and click Open. Then once it's been uploaded, we'll see it appears here and also in our sidebar on the right. Then if we want to change the size of our image, we can click and drag this point to the right and change it to whatever size we like. And we'll see this updates on the right. But for my example, I'm just going to put mine back to full size. Then I want to change my image to be above the text. So if we want to change the order of something in our sidebar, we just need to click on it to select it, and then we can use these up and down arrows in the menu to change the position. So I'm going to move mine to be above the text, and we'll see this updates on the right. Now, we can add more content to our sidebar if we like, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is to save time. Although if you do want to add some more, back over on the left, if we click the plus symbol again, and then click Browse All at the bottom, this will show us all the different widget blocks we can add to our sidebar. Most of these are pretty self-explanatory, and some you can probably figure out with a little bit of trial and error. But I will add a link to the official documentation for these in the video description, which explains what each of these are used for and how to set them up. Then to close out of this, we just need to click the X to the right. And then once we're finished adding content to our sidebar, we can click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the X in the top left to close out of the theme options. And at this point, we'll see our sidebar's been updated and now shows the new content we just added. And if we click into our different pages, we can see the sidebar remains the same on each one. Now, I know my website doesn't look great, as I'm just putting it all together pretty quickly to show you how it's done. But if you spend a little bit longer on it, I'm sure yours will look a lot better than mine. Then if we look up at the top, we can see that my website is still using the temporary domain, but this will update to the one I registered at the start as soon as it's ready. The longest I've ever had to wait was around 4 hours, but they say it can take anywhere up to 24. So that's us now at the end, and that was how to get started with WordPress. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give it a like to show your support and subscribe to the channel for more WordPress tutorials like this. Or if you're in the mood to carry on now, you can also find more WordPress tutorials in the playlist on screen now, which can help you customize your website even more. Once again, my name's Marty, and thank you for watching.